everyone. Welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world.
Hello!
Whew, I was winded. I was running down the hall, and you know why? Because we recently hired a bunch of people. We've got how many people do we have now, Tom? Like 43 people working here. And I went to use the restroom before I came on, and it was full. I had to run all the way down to the warehouse restroom.
Ease up on that coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it is great to see all of you coming in from all over the place. I see all the weather reports. It is cold out there, but we're going to warm up a little here in Wisconsin over the weekend, which is going to be exciting. Today, I have a fun card project for you, and I'm going to create an elegant window look. And we're going to be using the new kit today. So if you're playing along or you're making notes for future projects, that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we get started, let's bring Tom in. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Happy Kraft afternoon.
I'm chilly in here today, but don't worry, because you know I'm going to work up a sweat.
Yeah, okay.
And I did take my nails off.
Aww.
I know. I'm going to put new ones on.
You were having trouble picking things up?
I was having trouble, picking things up, but last night I took them off. I bought a new pack, a different color I'm going to try, so we'll see how that goes.
So do you lose those skills after a while?
Putting them up,
how to live with nails?
I guess. I don't know. I think you do. I don't know. I didn't really craft at the same time when I was in the nail industry, so I don't really have a point of reference there.
Okay.
And thank you for all the warm wishes about my eyeballs. Last night, Tom posted on Facebook because I got my eyes dilated yesterday. Oh, I looked freaky, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Looked like something from a horror movie, you know, when your pupils are all huge and dilated. But all is well for another year, so I'm good to go.
It's kind of wild, actually.
And I wanted everybody to know that I already posted the template from Tuesday night's video in our Facebook group. And after I get done today, I will be adding it to our blog, to our templates and charts thing on our blog. So the template is there. And I found a way to cut that black panel with a measurement that makes it perfect every time. So you don't have to eyeball it like I did. So that is on the template as well.
Too much eyeball in that last video. Too much eyeballing.
I know. And then all day yesterday, my eyeballs were being worked on. So enough with the eyeballs. All right. Are we ready to get started?
Right.
All right. So here's the stamp set that I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using the Delicate Dahlia stamp set, and I'm going to be using the coordinating dies. And I was thinking for this one, I'll probably just do some stamping instead of using the polyglaze sheets today, because not everybody has polyglaze, and I don't want to overlook how nice this stamp set is. Now, I did clean my paper cutter from the other night, too. I had glue and sticky stuff all over my paper cutter, but I cleaned it with some rubbing alcohol, so it's fresh and brand new again. All right, well, what I am going to do first is I'm going to just cut this down to a quarter sheet here. This was one that I was practicing my template on, and so I'll just go ahead and cut this down to a quarter sheet so we have that to work with for our card today. And I am going to need another piece of cardstock. Let's see, I'm going to take this one down to 3 3/4 by 5, but all this is going to be recut anyway. I just want to get some pieces ready to go. And then I am going to need some cardstock to stamp on. So let's just do one more quarter sheet, and I think we'll be good to go with that. So I'm going to get my Misty, and we're going to do a little stamping. And you know, one thing that I haven't really tried, and I think I'm going to try it today, is the idea of stamping in black after you ink blend. So I've seen some people say that based on where they live, sometimes when they do the coloring stencils over the black ink, they get a little bit of smearing. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show this little tip, and I think it's a good one. where you stamp in a light ink and then you do all of your ink blending and then you go back over the panel again and stamp it in black. So I'm going to make sure that this piece of cardstock is tucked in real tight to that corner, and I'm going to pick up the stamps, and then these stamps are going to stay on the MISTI. So this was an idea that Mindy Eggen shared, and I see Mindy here in the chat. I also see Kathy Z. Hey guys. Mindy Eggen shared a video on this, and it's a brilliant idea. It really is. And this way you don't have to worry, especially when you're using yellows and lighter pastel colors, that you get any graying of those colors at all. Because remember, our black ink is also a dye ink. So, you know, all the dye inks are water-based. So when you ink blend over them, one of the reasons they ink blend so nicely together is because they reactivate a little bit when you put the next color on top. So that can also happen when you're doing coloring stencils. So let's try Mindy's tip here, and I think it's a good one. And I also want to give a shout out to Brianne Loveland. Thank you, Brianne, for being here again and helping us in the comments. We love you, and we really appreciate all of your hard work, helping everybody find things that they're looking for. And also, I'm very excited because I ordered more ink stands, and I can't wait to get mine. I'm going to clean this stamp off just to make sure there isn't anything from my prior stamping on here. And then I'm going to use some Kraft ink. Now, you can even go lighter than this if you want. You can do something like Sandy Beach. But I'm just going with a tan because I feel like tan is going to look good with anything. And then if we like the way it looks, maybe we'll just leave it tan. But if we want it to be bold and black, we can just stamp right back over it again. Plus, Kraft ink is pretty easy to see, where Sandy Beach, for some of us, might be a little trickier. So, all right, I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to stamp that again. Now, I know this looks very light on the screen, like it looks like nothing. Let me get my Chucky tool. But I'll turn the cardstock so you can see it a little better away from the light. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I think you can. See that? You can see it's light, but it's definitely seeable enough to lay your stencils on top and color it. So I'm leaving those stamps right in there like that. And then I am going to color these using the coloring stencils. Now, what colors should I do today? I was thinking it might be fun to do the yellows today since we just talked about yellow. So what about, let's see, do I have sweet corn? I do. Sweet corn is a beautiful yellow. And then maybe we can do that into a little bit of sweet mango. And then for greens, let's do our standard jelly bean and fresh asparagus. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but I want to have them close by. And then I'm also going to use sea glass for a background technique that I'm going to show you. Okay, so let's go with these yellows, because I've been doing lots and lots of pinks and purples and blues and teals, but I haven't really been doing a lot of these warm colors, and sometimes it's fun to do that. Okay. All right. So I have the coordinating coloring stencils here. These are the Delicate Dahlia's coordinating stencils. And what's nice about this big image is you could do all the greens at one time. And you do have to do the flowers separately, but that's okay. They're not hard to do. Now let me get a couple blending brushes here. So I'm going to clean this one. I don't know what's on this one from before. It looks like it might have a little bit of some orange on it, but that'll be okay. And let me find my green one. And then I think I'm going to get a smaller brush here. Let's see, do I have a smaller orange one? This is kind of red. I don't think I have a small orange one. That's really red. I don't have a small orange one, so I do have a new blending brush here, so I think I'll use this for the orange. All right, so I'm going to start with this image up here and get it out of the way. This one is this image here, and you just want to make sure that you have your stencils facing in the right direction so that you can read the words down here. And we're going to pop this stencil on to this flower, and then I'm going to use some sweet corn first, using my ink stand. Blend some sweet corn onto there. Nice. And then I will add a little bit of sweet mango coming up from the bottom here. Blend those two colors together, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz there down at the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to do these down here. I'm going to start with this one. And I do want to be careful not to go outside of this area here. So I'm going to grab a couple little Post-it notes just to protect that flower up there at the top. I'm just going to do it like that. And then that looks pretty good. So we'll go back to the sweet corn. I am finally reaching the point after all these years of having my ink pads that I'm going to have to start to re-ink my ink pads. It's been a long time that I've had ink pads in our line, and I have not re-inked. I've re-inked maybe one or two. Black. I don't do a lot of re-inking. This actually might be really pretty stamping it with a light brown too. Ink. What do you think? What would be a good ink color to stamp this in other than black? Maybe gray? I think maybe even just a brown would be really pretty. Okay, so there's the second one. I know they look kind of funny right now because you can't really see the lines very well. But I can see them enough. All right, so we're going to do this one next. Is that this one? Yeah, that's this one here. Line that up. I love just mixing two colors, you know. It doesn't create a lot of detail, but it creates some really nice shading. So mixing two complementary colors like a yellow and an orange, or a blue and a purple, or a blue and a teal. It's just so interesting. Okay. And this is okay if it goes a little outside the lines. It's not going anywhere near where I have to cut these out.
Do you have a demo video for inking, re-inking pads?
I do. I have a tiny little video somewhere in our Facebook group where I show that. I'll have to dig that out. But it's pretty easy to do. I don't know where my re-inkers are. I got to figure out where my re-inkers are. When we moved from the old studio to over here, I have a few of them out from a technique that I did, but I don't know where the rest of them went. That's the hard part about moving. Anybody that's ever moved a craft room, first of all, you're a rock star, because that is the hardest thing to do. And I always think it's funny, like I see people talking about like, oh, I'm moving, so I'm trying to like clean out my craft supplies. It's so hard to get rid of stuff because it's all so beautiful. It's hard to get rid of anything. You never know when you'll need that one eyelet, you know? Eyelets will come back. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to do the little bud here. You never know. Eyelets could come back. I'll bring them back. I'll do something with eyelets. You know, for those of you that, I'm still going to do my paper bead thing that I want to do, like an updated paper bead video, and eyelets are perfect to tuck into the ends of the paper beads. It makes them look more like jewelry. You just glue them into the ends. So we could bring eyelets back. I think they need a comeback. Okay. Mindy, you rearrange your craft space all the time? Oh, I feel really accomplished if I can just clean up enough space on my tabletop to make a video. All right, somebody just said they got rid of all their eyelets. You know, it's all right. That bracelet that I made and showed, I didn't have any eyelets in there, but you know, I saw somebody do it and it looked really cute. Okay, so now I'm going to do the green parts. So let me close up did you guys know that the inkstands are magnetic? Are they still magnetic, Brianne? I don't know if they are still. My old ones are. Brianne will tell us if they are. Mine seem to love each other. They find each other and they cling together. But I don't know if they're still magnetic.
What are eyelets, Sarah wants to know.
Oh, really? Eyelets? They look like, they're like little metal rings that you would put in like to the top of a tag and it finishes it off. And then, okay, they're not magnetic anymore. They had issues with the magnets. Okay, good to know. Good to know. And you use like an eyelet tool on the back to like flatten out the back. Just Google what an eyelet is and you'll see. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't have any here. I have them at my home craft room though, because I have things from the early 1800s in that craft room. All right, so Brianne, I'm going to need some new inkstands. I got to get new ones. I shouldn't say new ones. I need more. I have 3 of this one, and I have 2 Inkcube inkstands. You got to get the Inkcube inkstands because they're amazing for your Inkcubes. And then I have my new square ones for our neon inks coming. I'm really excited about that. Let's see here. It is a little harder to see, that's for sure. This will work. Good enough. I'm just going to tape this down because I'm going to be aggressive. Okay, so I'm going to use Jelly Bean Green first. A little bit of Jelly Bean. There we go. And then I'm going to use my tiny brushes, our detail brushes. I'm going to add a little asparagus onto these just to create a little bit of shading. So let me get an asparagus brush here. This one will work. These are our detail brushes. And I'm going to go ahead and add just a little asparagus. You can add it wherever you want. Obviously, I don't worry too much about where the light's coming from, because what did Rena say that day? We were doing shading and she's like, apparently I have 6 suns on my planet because the light was coming in from all different spots. Okay, good enough there, good enough. I'm a little off up here, but it's a little hard to see. All right, and now I'm going to, it's not hard to see for everyone, it's just hard to see for me. Maybe I'll try a darker color next time, like a gray. That might be better for me. I'm going to do this one next. I want to be careful not to get into this over here. I'll just put my finger right here and block it. Okay. Have we decided what color I'm going to use, Tom? For the dark color?
Well, there are quite a few suggestions.
And then I'm going to use these two over here for right here. What are some of the suggestions?
Okay, so dark chocolate,
Okay.
warm cocoa,
Warm cocoa. Okay. Did anybody suggest charcoal brown?
some kind of dark gray, olive green, an olive-y type green like fresh asparagus, I guess. Charcoal brown, yeah. It's in
Charcoal
there.
brown's in there? Okay.
Dark purple.
Dark purple. All right, I think I'm going to go, somebody said charcoal brown. I think I'm going to try the charcoal brown because that charcoal brown is like a great substitute for black, but it's not black. It is definitely a brown, but it's a nice crisp brown. So I think I'm going to try that. Whisper gray is a beautiful color, but it's actually way lighter than Kraft. So I don't think that you'd see it any better. It's great for no-line coloring, though. Oh my gosh, for people who know how to do no-line coloring. All right, so here we go. Hoping for the best here. So let's find the charcoal brown. Here it is, charcoal brown. And all right, here we go. I'm going to try it with the top one first. It's like I don't 100% trust it, so I want to see how it looks. And that would be an easier one to replace if I have to just make one more. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Okay, charcoal brown it is. But I feel like that didn't like ruin my yellow, and it just, I don't know, it's just a nice crisp look. Yes, there we go. Kind of keeps the delicate nature of the stamp. All right, so now I'm going to die cut these, but before I do that, I am going to add a greeting. Oh, I need this panel. Let me find a tiny little scrap of white somewhere. Here's a piece of white that I can use. And then I think for this card, I'm going to make this a sympathy card. Sympathy cards are tough for me because I love bright colors and I love, you know, I love foil. And I never know if foil is appropriate for a sympathy card. It's like so dazzly, you know? So because we're not doing any foiling on this card, I think a sympathy greeting would be a good one to use here. We always vote for purple. I know, right? Purple's an awesome color. I love purple. Not everybody likes purple. There's definitely like a team purple, but I am team purple. I am team amethyst. You guys know that. Love my amethyst. All right, let's do this in that same charcoal brown because I think that's gonna look pretty. And you know what? We'll even, instead of using black today, we'll use charcoal brown cardstock for the background. I know, right? Yeah, give that a try and see if that makes your stamping, like your inking, a little bit more true to color. Okay, that looks pretty good. I could stamp it one more time. I can't believe I just pulled it out. So hopefully it'll be still crisp. If not, we'll just stamp it again. I want to stamp it again. I know that that looks crisp probably enough, but I'm going to stamp it again.
Sue wants to know if we have a Chucky tool in the making.
We do. We do. It's coming very soon. We've already, I mean, they're in production. We've already have a bunch of samples. Brian already designed the box for it. So, yeah, it's coming very soon. And it's a little different than this, but it is based on this. And I'll explain what I mean when we roll it out. All right, that looks good. I don't know why I didn't like the first one. It just seemed like ever so slightly runny, like bleedy, you know? Sometimes when you stamp something twice, if you don't nail it exactly right, but it's still okay, it's not double stamped, it looks like it just swelled up a little bit. And that's what I was seeing. It was like, the greeting looked a little swollen to me. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, I think you're going to love the Chucky tool. You're going to love it. So I'm going to clean this stencil and get it off the table. I'm just using a little alcohol for that. And we'll just put these away back into my stencil pocket. And we can put the stamp set away too. See, I'm cleaning up as I go now because I keep losing too many things. Now, I am going to get a plain piece of white cardstock. I cut this small one, and this will be perfect. And then what I'm going to do here is I am going to create a sky. And I'm going to do that using some sea glass ink. Actually, Brianne, I'm kind of glad you're not doing the magnets anymore because I keep losing my dies along these. So the new ones without the magnets are going to be great for me.
Okay, quick questions. Will you ever sell a trimmer for 12 by 12 paper?
We might. We don't have one in the works right now, but we might down the line. The minimums to do tools are ridiculously high. Just as an example, we have really, really cool scissors coming, but the minimums were like 6,000 pieces just to get it started. So the minimums for tools are really high, and certain things like scissors that everybody needs and likes, and you know, you can almost say, okay, well, we could do that, but these big paper cutters, they're very expensive to have manufactured, and steel is a problem right now. And then, you know, we have to really look at it and see how many people would really be interested in a 12 by 12 by us versus what they already have out there. So I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying we don't have one in the works. So if you're looking for one, just go ahead and you know, find one that you like. Tonic makes great tools. Tim Holtz makes great tools. I would definitely recommend a Tonic paper cutter if you're looking. Okay, so I'm using the Sea, Sun, and Sky stencil, and I'm going to create clouds going down this paper. Okay, so everything's in my signature color, Josie. Yes, of course. I think you'll like them. All right, so we're going to just go along this edge.
And will there be a magnetic plate for the mini intricate?
No, there will not. Definitely will not be that. Okay, and now, can you see that? It's kind of bright in these lights, but it's not bright at all in front of me. So how does it look over there, Tom?
It looks wonderful.
Okay, good. So I'm just shifting this around a little bit. Like that. To do my next one. See how it kind of staggers them a little bit? Now I'm going to move over here like this. Okay, we do have more magnetic plates coming though for our regular intricate. They sold out. That was a big seller for us. People really like them. So we did a reorder on those, and they are actually, like I said, I know they're here in the United States somewhere because I already paid the tariff. They sent me the tariff bill, so once that's paid, that means it's at the port, and you get the tariff bill once it gets to the port. All right, I'm going down this whole sheet here because I don't know exactly where my window is going to hit, and I want to have beautiful clouds out my window. But you see how you just move it back and forth and it creates this cute little cloud pattern. Now if you want it to be even more different than what I'm doing, you can always like wipe it and flip it, and then you'll get some of the opposite direction. Oh, don't worry, we have new inks and cardstock coming. I'm really excited about our new colors. And then if you were using this as a full background, then what I would recommend you doing is I would recommend just taking your blending brush and kind of going up along the edge here to finish that off. I'm not using it this way, and you can kind of go up along this edge too to finish it off, and you can see there's that cloud pattern there. Isn't that fun? Connie, I have a video on my YouTube channel for how to make paper beads. And I happened to show a paper bead bracelet that I was digging through my jewelry box and I found, and I put it on, and I asked, would anybody be interested in an updated video on this? And a lot of people said that they would be interested. So I have that in my itinerary of videos that will be coming up probably in the new year. Okay, so the inks and cardstock are going to be coming in our January release. Now I'm going to use some master layouts here. So I'm going to be using Master Layouts 2 and Master Layouts 5. So I'm going to be creating a panel with Master Layouts 2, and then I'm going to cut it out with Master Layouts 5. So I'm just using the window die here. This die is a little bit of a different size. It coordinates with the this scalloped frame from Master Layouts 4. They go together. And by itself, you can create a nice little window that looks something like that. But I'm going to actually mix it. The reason we did this separately instead of doing all one die like this is because you can cut this out of a mini slimline. You can cut this out of Master Layouts 2. You can cut it out of Master Layouts 1. You can cut it out of a 5x7 and use Master Layouts 8. So that's why we did the two dies separately, because all of our master layouts mix and match together, and we wanted to give you more options. So let's first cut the Master Layouts 2 panel. Things are falling over back here. Okay, so ooh, this is crooked. That's not gonna be good for people who don't like things crooked. Let's get it straight. There we go. Okay. Sorry, Tom. Was that loud on your ears? Apologize for that. So I'm going to start with the stitched die, and I'm going to cut that out first. And you can see I have it a little bit on an angle because they just seem to cut better, and they run through the machine, or any machine, easier if you put them on an angle like that. Julie, I will do a Master Layouts video and what works with what. I will do that. I have to really plan that. That's not something I can kind of just do off the cuff, but that is definitely something I will do in the new year, because I know a lot of people have asked for that, and I think that that would be helpful. All right, now I'm going to cut the window out of this Master Layouts panel. So I'm going to line this up. Now this is one of those times where I definitely recommend having some masking magic close by so that you can figure out exactly where you want to put it. and then you can tape it down, because even if you were using a magnetic mat on this, I would say, you know, it can shift. And if it shifts a little bit, it's going to be crooked. So we want it to be as straight as possible. So I'm going to tape that down there. Tape that down there. Okay. That looks pretty good. Put that in there, and oh, it looks like a lot of people would like a master layouts class. That would be good. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We will do that. And it might not be something that I make a lot of cards in, but it might be something more about just layouts that you can do and how you can mix and match them together. All right, so now I'm going to cut this, pull this out gently. Look at that pretty window. Isn't that just a beautiful die? I love that. And so this, I'm going to trim this down, but this is going to go on top of this, and then my clouds are going to be out the window. All right. And you can always save these, and you can make a really pretty kind of background that looks like a window, even though it isn't a window, by keeping them in here and putting glue on the back. Let me just show you that real quick. Like if you had a piece of cardstock, I know I still have to cut my other things out and I'm getting sidetracked, but it is kind of fun to have ideas of what you can do with your leftovers. So let's say, I'll cut this down. Let's say you had a panel that was about the same size as the Master Layouts 2. So that would be 3.5 by 4 3/4. So let's pretend that this is all pretty with stitching. And let's say you ink blended on a piece and then you cut it out here with this die. So you could take some glue and you could just put glue on each of these. I'm not going to like be super careful here because this is not really a card that I'm making, but if I was making it into a card, I'd be a little bit more careful about the glue. I would, you know, get it closer to the edges, but not onto the die itself. And then you could take this and center it onto the card where you want it. Looks pretty good right there. And then you can press those down . See if I can pull these out here. And that makes a really pretty kind of modern Art Deco kind of background that then you could take a flower design. I don't even have a flower design here, but if you have, oh, here's one. Here's an old flower design. So like you could take a flower design and put it up against that, and that would be a really cool use of the stuff that comes out of something like that. So that's a cool Master Layouts 5 trick that you may not think of because we're so fixated on how beautiful this looks, but that's really cool, huh? So I wanted to just show you that. Had to show you. And let me get this back in the right spot, or I'll be looking for that during a live one day and I won't know where that went, but there we go. That'd be fun. I might keep that and work on that card later. Okay, so now we want to make sure that this is just a little bit smaller. Burp my glue here. Want to make this a little bit smaller so it's not showing on the outside like that. So I'm going to cut this down. This measures 3.5 by 5. So I'm going to cut this down to like, let's see. I think that'll be fine. 3.25 by, this is 3.5 by 4 3/4, so I can go to 4.5. Like that. Okay. So now I am going to put this on top and create my little sky background there. Well, now I just chopped up my piece that I was working on. So here I'll use this little piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue mostly around the frame. Now you could make this a shaker card too, if you wanted to. You could make it a shaker by putting a piece of acetate on here first, and then using some shaker strips, and then mounting it onto your clouds. You could fill it with stuff and it would shake. But I'm kind of going for a more subtle look because this is a sympathy card, and I don't know that I need it to be an interactive card, you know, like something that's like cutesy and fun. I think I want it to be just a little more elegant, and I really just want this window to be subtle in the background.
Brenda is asking, Gina, have you ever thought about making the masking magic in roll form?
We have, and we can't do it. The masking magic, the type of paper that it is, when it gets all caught up on itself and it sits like that for a while, it'll tear. So it doesn't work on the roll. We thought about that initially when I presented the idea of this to ThermoWeb. I had said, can we do masking magic but in strips on a roll? And we tried everything and it just doesn't work.
Tried and died.
Yep, didn't make it, didn't make the cut. So I'm going to just press all this down here. There we go. And then I have my jumbo acrylic block that I can just put right on there as a paperweight and just to let that sit for a minute. Okay, so while that is off to the side setting, let's cut out the flowers and the with sympathy greeting. Will vellum paper work in the window? Vellum, if it's very, very thin vellum, it would be actually very pretty. But I would definitely suggest then that if you're going to do the clouds, that you make the clouds a lot darker, because once you put vellum paper over something that light, it's going to be really hard to see. Okay, so let's get these first. We'll do these first. And I need to find the coordinating dies for these. So, of course, they're stored with my stamp set. Yeah, I know there is another company that has a masking type of tape, but it's very different from Masking Magic. And I know theirs is on a roll, but it's I'll stress, it is very different than Masking Magic. It's not, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but it's different. If you've never tried the Masking Magic strips, you have to try them. It's good. It's one of my favorite products that ThermoWeb and I did together. I'm going to cut these one at a time just because I don't trust myself today or any day. Okay. And what I liked too was that we were able to offer 3 different thicknesses in the pack with the Masking Magic strips the way they did them, instead of you know, having to buy 3 separate rolls of different sizes. So, I mean, it would have been nice if it could be on a roll, but it just doesn't work. All right, and now we're going to cut this one out. I like the brown. I think the brown is really subtle. And I think if we had done cool colors, something like Stormy Sky would have been a great color to use, because the cool colors and the grays look great together, and the warm tone inks and the browns look great together. So if you're, you know, kind of switching this up and doing maybe your favorites, and your favorites are blues or purples, try Stormy Sky instead. So the last thing I'm going to do is cut out my greeting. And then Tom, while I do that, I didn't even ask you if you had a word of the day today.
I have a phrase of the day.
Oh, you do?
A phrase of the day.
Would you like to do that now? Oh, look how pretty that cuts out. I love how it cuts out all the little innards there. Would you like to do that now while I'm still die cutting?
Okay, we actually had.
Did we lose our comments?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, we actually had a comment earlier. We had a comment earlier that relates to the phrase of the day from Trudy.
Oh.
She posted, overslept this morning and everything has gone wrong since, so I'm really glad to be here.
I'm sorry.
We hope you're okay, Trudy. So Gina and I have been on a few cruises.
Yes.
We it's been a while, but we enjoyed them a lot. And if you've ever been on a cruise or ever wanted to be on a cruise, go on a cruise, they have these activities every day that go off of the ship and go onto the land, and you do different things. And so they're really fun. But if you had too much fruit salad the night before and you end up sleeping through the wake-up call for your early morning dragon feeding shore excursion, then you are having a snore excursion. That's what you're enjoying on your cruise. So, phrase of the day, snore excursion.
Which is not the shore excursion. Got it. Okay. Very cute.
And back to the dead space.
Okay. So now I'm going to cut a piece of charcoal brown for my shadow layer. And I'm using master layouts too for that. That's funny, Tom.
That fruit salad.
That fruit salad will do it to you. Oh, I think that's going to be so pretty together. Okay, let me put my master layouts away. I don't forget. Now, cardstock color for the background. I am definitely going to use sweet corn. Sweet corn will be just beautiful. And I haven't used enough sweet corn lately, so I'm going to cut a sweet corn panel with my tonic cutter here. Now, of course, I could use the small cutter and cut it book style, but this one I want to do like a tent topper, kind of, not a tent topper, but a tent style. So top fold, that's what I meant to say, top fold. So I'm going to just score this at the 5.5 inch mark. And let's get that in there. And then we'll smooth that down. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to assemble this card. Let's see, this should be all ready to go. Ooh, that's pretty. That looks so nice. So now we can layer these two panels together. And we've got that pretty window there. Now, if you wanted this to be, you know, more raised, you could also just cut this a couple of times and layer them together. But what I would suggest if you're going to do that is to cut a couple of smaller white panels and cut the windows out of them. And then just line them up where the windows are. You know, rather than trying to, because if you don't have them lined up perfectly, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You could measure, though, with a ruler, but you saw how that went for me the other night. I was ruler challenged. Not really, though. I think I came up with a good thing. Check out the template that I posted in our Facebook group or on the blog later, and give it a try for that Z-fold card. I think you're gonna like it. Okay, and then we'll lay this on top. Oh, this is nice. I'm liking it.
Angela wants to know. Angela wants to know what we put in our fruit salad, and so it's basically anything that used to be fruit, or is made of fruit, or is some fruit in some form. Anything else is anything else goes.
Fruit salad is sangria. That's what fruit salad is. It's sangria.
Oh, I guess I misspoke. Guess who? It depends who's bartending.
Yeah. But that's how it started. It started where we were talking about, I was trying to sound healthy. And I had sangria, so I called it fruit salad. Okay, so now we're going to do a layout here where we've got these flowers coming up from the bottom. I'm going to bring them outside of, into the yellow area. And then this one is going to just grace the top here like that. And then my sympathy greeting is going to go right in here like that. I think that's going to be really pretty. I'll try asking in all caps, do you think you will come out with an electric die? No, I won't come out with an electric die cutting machine, Candy. You have no idea how hard it was to do the fuse. First of all, the big thing is that with a regular die cutting machine, anybody in the world can use it. With something electric, you have to have all different voltages and all different plugs, which means your minimums become ridiculous. And you've got to get approvals that we had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for every different machine. So we have a UK version, we have an Australian version, and we have a European version. And most countries around the world will work with one of those versions because, I believe different places, different Asian countries can take Australian voltage and plugs, and different places take different voltages and plugs, but those are the four main ones. And so we'd have to do that with an electric die cutting machine. And, the fuse is cool because there just really wasn't a lot out there like it. So I felt like, that was an okay investment for us. I might move this up a little. No, I'm going to leave it. But I don't think that we could handle the costs of an electric die cutting machine. So I would say the popular ones are the Anna Griffin Empress machine. I don't have one, but people that I know have them and like them. I do have the Crafter's Companion Gemini, which I really like. I think it's a great machine. And I believe Sizzix also has an electric machine. There's just so many options out there that it really doesn't make sense for us. We're a very small company in that big picture. So, and we're going to place this one up here like that, just coming off the window there. And now this is going to go right in here like that. I like it. I wanted to have a little bit extra of the window showing, so I think this is going to work. We could do this right over that flower a little bit, or even down in here. Well, let's do it a little bit over the flower like that. So we'll put our little pieces in here. And also, just, regarding the all caps, I really do want to apologize if we missed some of your questions along the way. There are a lot of questions coming in because we are actually, you might not see them all where you are, but we see them all because we're getting all the comments from all 3 places that we stream. So we're streaming on YouTube, also on Facebook, and on Twitch. So we get comments coming in from all of them, and sometimes, you know, after Tom's word of the day, there's a lot of laughing faces and stuff, and sometimes we miss a comment here and there. So we apologize if we missed your question. Some questions we really, truly just don't have the answer to. And I forgot to take the liners off of all these. And, you know, like ordering questions or in stock or things like that are better sent over to our customer service department. We'd like to be able to help, but we just don't have those answers here. Okay, so now there it is. And I'm going to take nice high-quality photos so you're going to be able to see the clouds really bright the way that they are. I mean, they're not super bright, they're soft, but you'll be able to see it all more crisply. And then I'm going to add a few little pearls into this. I'm going to use some of these colored pearls. So I'm going to spill all of them out and then not use any that I spilled out like usual. I want the tinies. I love to make a mess with the pearls. Let's see. I really like these peach ones. Isn't that a pretty color? So let's see. I'm going to put one here. Let's see, where am I going to put them? I'll do one outside the window here. We'll do one up here. So now we need like 3 more. So I'll do one here, one up here, and one down here. So I'm kind of keeping them all within the center. And I think I'll use some peach and maybe some yellow. Gotta find, I know there's some smaller peach ones in here too. Or there was. Did I use them all? Let's spill them all out and see what I have. The yellows are pretty. All right, well, we're going to use a big peach one for here. It's kind of peachy. Here's a small one. Use that one in there. Here's another small one. We'll use that up there. There's a bit of a bigger one. Is that peach? No, this is kind of, they're not really peach. They're kind of yellow with like a pinkish hue. Like on Seinfeld. Does she have a pinkish hue? Only my Seinfeld loving friends will get that joke.
She's got a hue.
She's got a hue. There we go. Okay, I like that. It's really pretty. I had to pull every single one out, but sometimes it's fun to see those rainbow pearls in action. So there we go. There is the finished card. What do you guys think? I like this one. Now, I made this card before, and I want to show you how different it looks. You wouldn't think there'd be a huge difference, but I made it in black ink versus this brown ink. And look at the difference. Can you see how much softer the brown looks? It's just prettier, I think, in the brown. It's pretty, but the black is so pronounced, where this is just softer and more muted. So I like it. I think it's good. All right, Tom. So we have to give away a gift card today.
Happy to do it.
Are you ready?
Okay.
You gonna come in? Yeah, there you are. I'm gonna clean up my pearls. I'm gonna see if I can not get them all on the floor here. I really should find a better way, but
this is where the sneeze comes in.
there we go.
All right.
All right.
All right, drum roll, please. Here we go. And the winner today is Lyn McMahill. Lyn McMahill.
Yay, Lyn! Congratulations! All right, Lyn, all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com.
Say that again. Name and email address.
Name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we'll get that gift card out to you. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. If you liked the video today, and we sure hope that you have, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. And then while you're over there giving it a thumbs up, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. And if you'd like to join the most fun group on Facebook, come join us at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Put that in the search bar on Facebook, answer a few security questions, and we will let you in, and you can join 47,000 other fans and friends who share inspiration using products by Gina K Designs. And then if you see anything you liked here and you missed the link, because Brianne is just lightning linker over there, but if you missed it and you want to peruse the site, check us out at ginakdesigns.com. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. In the meantime, we hope you'll all stay safe and warm and healthy. And we love you all very much. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.